Was it different that going into jiu-jitsu there was no really like weight class? You just train with whoever's in there,
Yes.
regardless of size.
I'm glad you said that because that did throw me off. Because it's like, here, roll with this
I still don't understand.
250. I roll with Nicky Rod almost every week, and I'm just like, how is this even allowed? Um, and so like, yes, when I remember I went into jiu-jitsu and some dude's like, hey, are you going to enter the absolute division? And I'm like, what is that, like, extra reward or something? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's like all the weight classes. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, what's the point of that? And so that threw me off because, everyone has a mindset of like, oh, technique should be superior to size. It is to a certain extent. I mean, I
Yep.
can take that. I have the ability, I feel like, to take down just about anyone, but it's pretty hard to take down Nicky Rod because he's huge.
Right.
And he's also good at wrestling. So when someone has good skill and they're also big, it's going to throw you off. So yes, that did really that was a curveball to me.
Yeah, when I wrestled in high school, I had one of my good friends. I remember during practice one day, I was like, "Hey, Manny, you want to like train together today?" And obviously in wrestling, he was like in 200s or like maybe like a 187 or something like that, and I was a 119. And he's like, "No, I don't want to train with you. Like I'm fucking huge compared to you. Like, why would I do that?" But in jiu-jitsu, like you just mentioned, it's that mindset of like, I want to train with the bigger person because it's going to produce more difficulties for me to figure out and to problem solve, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's such a unique aspect to our sport. Even you hear it when people like watch MMA or something like that, and they're like, "Wait, there's an absolute division?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me this 250-pound guy is going to go against a 135-pound guy?" Like watching Mikey roll against that like 260-pound guy where he was literally forearm across the face, and he won the match.
Yeah.
Like where not that's not going to happen in MMA.
No,
You know
that's
what I
not
mean?
happening
Well,
in
it
wrestling
might.
either. Like, not even close. Like, I remember in wrestling and like in practice and stuff, if someone was like 10 pounds bigger than you, it was like a big deal. It was like,
Right.
if you lost to someone in the practice room or in tournament and you were like, oh, the guy was 10 pounds bigger than me, like the whole community would be like, oh, okay. Like, and that doesn't count, obviously.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Like, and jiu-jitsu, it's like no one cares. And I'm like, all right, I guess I got to stop caring too.
Do you think that kind of produces a different mindset in jiu-jitsu competitors that you don't see in wrestlers? Like, I'm not saying wrestlers would make the excuse of like the guy was bigger than me, but very often we kind of, like you mentioned, we don't necessarily say that. Like we do, but in the jiu-jitsu community, it's kind of more of like, well, that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
They and you quickly realize, they're full of shit when you're like first going. They're like, technique beats everything. If your technique's better. No. My technique could be good. It could be better than theirs. But if they got me by 85 pounds, guess what? That's going to make the difference.
Yeah. I mean, that's what allows me to sleep at night when I get beat up by Nicky Rod. I just tell myself he's bigger than me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
If he was my same size, it wouldn't be close. And I hope he hears this. And so, I mean, I think it's because you're allowed to do stuff like leg locks and it's like little, it's like, I don't, people's mindset in jiu-jitsu is, you're big, but if I can get all my weight to like focus in on your foot, I can break it. And so like the weight shouldn't matter. But I agree with you as far as like, if my technique's better than yours, but you're like 80 pounds bigger than me, I'm not going to be able to do but so much. And then on top of that, if our technique is the same and you're bigger than me, then I might as well just tap out now before the match even starts.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. When the techniques are pretty much the same, but some person's 80 pounds heavier, that's just hard to overcome.
Yeah, but you see absolute and 80cc, and you do see guys that are smaller, Lachlan Giles, submitting monsters. And so, I think the leg lock game has definitely kind of closed that gap a little bit where like maybe bigger than me, but if I can get to your leg somehow, I can probably submit you. So, it all just depends on the individual, I think.